On this Ram 1500 with the 5.7 Hemi P0174 is a lean fuel system fault. In plain terms, the PCM may be adding fuel because the mixture feedback shows that side of the engine is running lean. The driver may only notice the MIL, but it can also show up with rough running, hesitation, or stop/start being disabled while the fault is active. Keep the possible fault areas broad at first: air or vacuum leaks, fuel delivery or injector restriction, purge flow issues, exhaust leaks, MAP input problems, upstream O2 sensor wiring or sensor concerns, fuel quality, engine mechanical condition, and in the end, PCM connections or the PCM itself. Start with the basic system checks before getting into the fault path. Also, do not jump straight to the O2 sensor. The sensor or wiring can set this code, but this fault is more likely to come from a mechanical, fuel, or air handling issue. The monitor runs with the engine in closed loop, battery voltage above 11.0 volts, barometric pressure greater than 75 kPa, ambient temperature above -7 degrees C, 20 degrees F, fuel level greater than 12% and altitude below 2,590. 8M, 8,500 FT. The fault logic is based on fuel correction. When the combined short-term and long-term correction is greater than a calibrated threshold, generally 133% with 100% as nominal, the fail timer starts. After approximately 30 seconds of fail time, the diagnostic fails. This is an emissions-related fault that can exceed 1.5 times any of the standards. First, read the codes in all electronic control units and record the DTCs and environmental data. Save the vehicle scan report and the recorded data so you have the conditions the truck was in when the code set. Then erase the DTCs, turn the ignition off for a minimum of 10.0 seconds, turn it back on, and operate the vehicle under the same captured conditions or monitor conditions. Read the codes again. If P0174 does not return, treat it as an intermittent condition. If it does return, continue. Next, look at the recorded codes. If any active or pending fuel system or air handling codes are present, diagnose those first. If they are not present, move on with the P0174 path. With the code confirmed and no higher priority fuel or air handling code steering the job, check MAP sensor operation. If the MAP check finds a problem, repair that issue and verify the repair. If the MAP check passes, check the fuel delivery system. If fuel delivery has a problem, repair that issue and verify the repair. If fuel delivery checks out, check the ethanol content in the gasoline. If there is an ethanol level issue with the fuel, correct that issue and verify the repair. If fuel quality is not the problem, keep moving down the path. Next, turn the ignition off and work through the mechanical and airside checks. The air induction system needs to be free of leaks. Check the whole engine and all vacuum lines and hoses for vacuum leaks. Check the power brake booster for an internal vacuum leak by watching engine speed and vacuum while pinching the booster vacuum hose. If a restricted or plugged injector is suspected, remove the fuel rail with the injectors still intact. Energize the fuel pump to maintain pressure in the rail. Actuate the suspect injector or injectors with the scan tool and compare the spray pattern to the others. Make sure the purge flow system flows freely with no leaks or restrictions, and check the hose and connections between the purge solenoid and intake manifold. Engine compression also has to be within specifications. If any mechanical problem is found, repair it and verify the repair. If no engine mechanical problem is present, continue to the exhaust system. Now check the exhaust system for leaks. If a leak or other exhaust problem is found, repair it and verify the repair. If the exhaust checks good, move to the upstream O2 sensor wiring. Disconnect the upstream O2 sensor harness connector and the PCM-C2 harness connector. Install the GPEC diagnostic adapter 10436 on the engine harness side of the PCM-C2 connector, and do not connect the adapter to the PCM. Do not probe the PCM harness connectors. Probing them can damage the PCM terminals and create a poor terminal-to-pin connection. With the adapter in place, Check the upstream O2 sensor circuits between the O2 sensor connector and the adapter for a short to ground and for an open or high resistance. If a circuit problem is found, repair it and verify the repair. If the wiring checks good, continue to the sensor retest step. At this point, if the earlier checks have not found a fuel, air, mechanical, exhaust, or wiring problem, replace the upstream O2 sensor and retest for P0174. Reconnect the upstream O2 sensor and PCM harness connectors. Turn the ignition on, erase the DTCs, and operate the vehicle under the captured conditions or monitor conditions that set the fault. If the code does not return, the upstream O2 sensor repaired the fault, and the repair still needs to be verified. If P0174 returns, continue to the connector and PCM side of the diagnosis. If the code comes back after the upstream O2 sensor replacement and retest, check for any applicable service bulletins, then inspect the PCM and related component connections. Disconnect the PCM harness connectors, any related inline connectors if equipped, and the related component connectors. Inspect the connectors and terminals for proper installation, damaged locks, corrosion, signs of water intrusion, weather seal damage if equipped, bent terminals, overheating from a poor connection, terminals pushed back in the cavity, spread terminals and proper terminal tension. Repair any condition you find. Then reconnect the PCM connectors, inline connectors if equipped, and related component connectors, making sure everything is fully seated and locked. Erase the DTCs, test drive or operate the vehicle under the monitor and set conditions, and read the codes again. If P0174 does not return, the wiring or poor connection issue has been repaired. If the code does return after that connection check, replace and program the PCM, then verify the repair and confirm the code stays gone. The key with P0174 is to prove the lean condition path before condemning the sensor. Confirm the fault, rule out related fuel and air handling issues, check MAP, fuel delivery, fuel quality, mechanical leaks, exhaust leaks, and wiring, and keep verifications separate after each repair. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.